Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Okay, so I guess on and off for, well, you know what? It's just going to be something I talk about with dating and politics and what they have to do with each other because it's kind of amusing and crazy how many men have told me that politics have nothing to do with dating. And oh yeah, by the way, get a snack, something to, drink, sip and enjoy, because I spill the patty. I spill every drop of patty, of course, with an extra spoonful of sugar so it's extra sweet but a little bitter at the same time. But yeah, I think just especially over the last few years, especially like since COVID, because COVID is when I broke up with my 7-year relationship ex. So he was no good. And throughout the relationship, I knew he was no good, but I was more scared of being single because of the expectations and the doubt and the ridicule that I got from my mother. And so, and I mean, other reasons too, but a lot of it is from the situations that I had to deal with and how I kept being told that no one was ever going to want me or love me. I got over the marry because I'm like, yeah, no one's ever going to marry me. And I mean, that's just my reality. And especially dating with a diagnosed disability, men try to make sure I know. Some of them tried to hurt me, and so I'm going to be talking about that throughout. It's like this is probably going to be a mini series on and off, but you never know. Remember, my channel is as messy as my life. But first things first, I've been noticing a lot of things with some of the videos and trying to put some of the pieces together. Because one thing I keep noticing are videos where women are showing videos of men and men who are saying that they hate their wives or girlfriends and or they settled with the girlfriends or wives. And I'm kind of wondering, did my ex settle with me? Because especially he was in the process of his divorce and we weren't together yet until after. And I know some people are like, why would you say that? Well, if you've been listening to the videos, you would probably come up with the same conclusion because and I keep thinking about this because watching videos and listening to all of these men saying how they settled and or they're cheating on their girlfriends or wives because they settled with them because they wanted to make sure basically they had that nurturing soft feminine figure at the house, but they wanted their dream woman still, and so they settled with what they could get, and or said they found someone that can cook and clean and nurture and at least be decent in bed and things like that. So that was good enough, and so now they're going to look for who they really want, who they really desire, who they're really attracted to. And I don't think, and the funny thing is with Mr. Lakaki and I don't think that was ever the case, even though he kept threatening to eliminate himself from the earth because I never wanted to date. And that's the thing, I never wanted to date Mr. Lakaki. I was trying to drive away, but then he put a knife to his yeah, yeah, listen to that. I talk about this or that story a lot, so catch up. But and then when he made the noose and all of these times where he told me if I broke up with him, it's like he's not gonna wake up in the morning. And yeah, so now I kind of feel like he settled with me until he found his middle school sweetheart, and he settled with me because he didn't. I don't know if he's clean now, but now that he has a daughter and he's with the love of his life and everything, I feel like he's actually, I mean, he's diagnosed with schizophrenia and bipolar. So, and he wasn't diagnosed until the end of our relationship or until, yeah, I had enough. But Yeah, go back. Yeah, there's a lot of episodes, but with him and then with Mr. No Heart would never encourage me or help me. He always wanted from me, but he always had his hand out, but he would never encourage me so that I would be able to expand and have more. Is he only wanted to me to have just enough to help him, just enough to help him get by, just enough so that when he needs to borrow, he didn't care if I didn't have enough for myself though. And to me, that's just pretty pathetic. And some of these men are like, oh, I'm alpha male, I'm this kind of man. I like, and it's just like, if you are too busy taking and stealing, and because yeah, Mr. Lakaki stole from me so many times, to the point where I had to sometimes leave my purse in the car or leave my wallet in the glove compartment and things like that. That's the point where I had to get with Mr. Lakaki, especially when he was trying to get back on his habit that I kept trying like. And the thing is, like, I was so dumb. I was trying to help him quit, and sometimes that's the reason I stayed with him, because I wanted to help him quit. But once I finished my second master's, I'm like, he's just pushing me down. He does, and both, like, majority of the men that I've dated, they didn't want me to accomplish anything. Tomas, Tomas, if you listen to that episode with the screenshots, oh yeah, it's like I posted that one of his screenshots in the last episode where he was like, you're the not he didn't no he's not the one who called me the love of his life. I forgot what his message said, but his was like the lovey-dovey one and everything. But he was the one where I published my second or third children's book. It's like I was so like it was during kind of like the end of COVID. Well, not really. It was like the middle of COVID. And but it's like right when we got, the vaccines and everything. And yeah, it's like I was working hard trying to get everything together, which I'm still doing. I'm gonna have the novel and more children's books out, but trying to still figuring out disability life. But I was so excited because I was like, I'm gonna show him, and because on our first date he asked me to be his girlfriend. And he just said, I can't believe I found a woman like you. You are absolutely amazing. And this is the guy where we would spend like 7 to 11 hours over the phone and we would watch the sun come up. And we did this like 2 to 5 times a week. and I, but then he blocked me after I showed him my published book. He ghosted me. Okay, so he didn't block me. He goes like, and I still don't believe that he didn't block me, but he ghosted me. But then when he ran in, or well, I ran into him, he told me it was because he would never be able to measure up to me. And that's one thing that I get really bothered by. I'm not saying a lot of guys have said that to me, but so many men have told me that I better drop out or I better not go to grad school if I'm going to date them. And I wasn't really allowed to date during my bachelor, so that wasn't really a question. But when I was going to start my master's, I lost count how many times or how many men have told me this. But it's funny how sometimes, either on Facebook or sometimes with some of the groups, when they post a question, especially dating wise, or why is it hard for you to find someone? And I say that is one of my main reasons. Do you know how many men hate on me? Or do you know how many, especially certain men, they're just like, what kind of black woman are you trying to be? Oh, you're one of those stuck up ones. And a lot of guys try to call me stuck up when I enjoy being educated. I enjoy, like, I worked hard for my degrees. I want to, like, it's like I want kids one day, but it's like when I do have my kids, I want them to know that even if it is hard and difficult, just work as hard as you can and you can achieve almost anything. And oh my gosh, it's really hard right now. And I'm tackling so many things right now, but I'm not quitting. It's like, yeah, I need to start marketing this channel, which I got scammed. Yeah, I already told that story too, but yeah. It's like you pay someone to do honest work and everything, and it's like I'm gonna see if I can still, because Fiverr is really funny when Fiverr kicks them off the site because you're finding out that they're scamming other people too. But now it's like I wish, I'm like, okay, can I get a list of some of the other people that they scam? Because if I can invite them on my channel and we can do a live and we can talk and spill about how this person scammed us. But if I can still find their username, because I don't think I erased, the emails, or even when oh my gosh, I think I might still have the notifications from my Gmail of what your order's done. So that, yeah, okay. So I'm like, okay, sorry, I'm off topic, but remember, my channel is as messy as my life. But that's another series I really need to do, because some of these people on websites like Fiverr, they just scam you. They don't care who you are. They don't care how hard you've worked or what you've been through, or that it's like you're spending every spare penny so that you can try to get your business, so that you can be independent and stuff like that. But with my ex, he knew I wanted to start a business. And with a lot of these men out here, okay, here's a little advice for myself. But remember, I've never been married, so like I'm called a leftover and everything like that. But I'm taking it as a compliment, because part of me just feels the reasons why most men break up with me, or why I break up with them, is because with my life, with my happiness, I am better without them. And a lot of men want nothing to do with me because I have high expectations for myself. And a lot of them will never be able to measure up to my expectations for myself. And that's why Tomas, like, ghosted me, because he realized, even though he started his own business, but even though he started his own business with someone, he was still like, yeah, this is the one that was in prison. Yeah, listen to that episode. Listen to that episode. But with a lot of the videos that I've been watching, or the one reason why I'm saying all of this, I keep seeing videos where men are like, oh, I settled. It's like I was at an age where it's like I needed someone in the bedroom. I needed someone in the kitchen. When I get home, I want a clean house. So I needed to find that good girl so that I could have a clean house and a hot meal. And he was like, "Oh, I wanted some kids." So it's like, yeah, I found someone to make the kids, but I want that fantasy woman now. So then they sneak into DMs and do all of these shenanigans and things instead of being patient. But now it's also noticing within the political realm. Yeah, you didn't think I was gonna slide in politics in this, but a lot of Republicans is like, now they're trying to marry off women at the age of 14. And with my last episode, yeah, I know I got some haters with that one because they disagree, but MAGA and Republicans, conservatives are trying to make young girls, or yeah, young girls, they're not women, they're young girls, marry at 14 for a reason. Yeah, it's like they want to be able to manipulate and trick these young girls because they're not mature. It's like 14, they're not mature. I was like, that's middle school. That's middle school. It's like back then, it's like I was being brainwashed at the church. So part of me is just like, this is the time where they're being brainwashed. This is the time where puberty hasn't, it's like, you started it, you're in it, but you're not in it. And your brain is still developing. And so is a lot of men keep telling me that politics have nothing to do with dating, but then when you look at how one party is trying to treat marriage and dating and everything, and also they want the really young girls so that they would be able to produce more babies, because of course they want more babies, and they're really upset that a lot of women, especially grown women, are at a point where we're not going to settle for a lot of these men. And so if we're not going to settle for the men, that means we're not procreating. That means we're not making the babies that they want so badly. Even though it's like, yeah, for some of us, we're risking our lives because, yeah, some of our bodies and some health issues, but then they don't want to test for certain issues, especially when it comes to women, because then that's, sexist, or that's picking one gender and not both. And it was like scientific studies should be for everyone, even though certain genders and certain nationalities are need certain treatments for certain diseases for certain reasons. But yeah, our politics are bigoted, right? Yeah, especially nowadays. But I keep hearing men say that they're going to settle, or that they had to settle, or they're paying passport bros so that they can go to another country because the women in the other country are not as independent, or they're not going to talk back, or they're going to be submissive, or they're just going to be so impressed by the man because they're going to third world countries. And so, since they're from America, these women will be like, oh, I want to go to America. Oh, I want money. Oh, I want, it's like, instead of being impressed by the man's personality, because one other thing that I've noticed, especially with some of the passport bro news this year, there's been a few guys either where they go to those other countries and then they don't come back, or they come back in a casket, or they bring back a bride, but then she divorces him, years later. And she talks about how bad that the man was and how much they had to tolerate him. And part of me just feels a lot of these men keep telling American women that we need to settle. But then you watch the type of relationships and you watch the type of behavior, especially with a lot of the passport bros who go over to these other countries, sleep around, and just treat women like garbage. And it's like, no, you wanted to treat me like that. If you had the power, if you could, you would treat me like, and it's like, and that's another reason why a lot of men, especially that nurse, oh, Ben the nurse, yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, he didn't want to date me anymore because I wouldn't sleep with him fast enough. And oh, it's like, and part of me is just like, shouldn't men say that men call women out of their names so often? They put down women and they want to know a woman's count. But then, do you know, okay, over the summer alone, or even this month, and we're only on the 17th, do you know how many men have told me that I had to sleep with him within 24 to 48 hours of matching with them on a dating app this week and this summer? This summer, I think we're inching a little towards 40, maybe 35 to 40 men this summer. So far, we're in August. We're in the middle of August. August 17th. This week, I want to say 4 or 5. 4 or 5. These men don't know me. And it's crazy. These men don't ask anything about me. They don't care. But then at the same time, these men will turn around and ask what your number is. And then they'll judge you about your number, even though they're the ones who, right off the gate, said that you had to sleep with them in order for them to pay attention to you. Because there's some guys where I'm like, don't you want to get to know me? Then they block me. And it's like, okay, that's the but then they put women down, but look at how they treat women. Look at how they view women. Look at how they view women as property. They treat us like we're not worth anything, but then turn around. They expect us to have a low count, but then they expect to use us. But then it's like, okay, if you want us all women to have low numbers, where do you expect to get it from? If you're going to judge us and put us down, then why don't you look in the mirror? It's like you want to be able to use every woman the way that you want to, because also I've noticed some men in some of these dating interviews talk about how they lie to women, because if they told a woman that it's like they don't want a relationship, but they're so beautiful that they had to sleep with her because they want that accreditation. They wanted to be able to brag that they were able to sleep with her. So they'll lie and tell her false information, false relationship goals, just so they could be able to have her. It's like, and they know it's lying, but they don't care, because if they told her the truth, she won't be interested. And they can't have that. But then they call that being a man. They call that red pill alpha man. It's like, when will these men realize why we want nothing to do with them? And then a lot of these men keep telling women that we have to act right, that we have to be submissive, that we have to behave. For who? You can't even behave. You treat us like garbage. It's like some of you might as well go out with Oscar the Grouch, and oh yeah, Oscar the Grouch has a girlfriend too. Yeah, why don't you go talk to her, holler at her for a minute? But it's really annoying because I'm seeing, like I've mentioned this a couple times, but the woman who's married to that man, and they're like, I think it was a pastor, maybe. It's like, I know it's Christian related with the interview, but she was ironing his clothes so he could go and cheat on her. Never, never. But then on the other part, it's like I hear men say that when men cheat, women have to forgive them. But if women cheat, then the man should be able to leave her, and it's like she should be ashamed and all this other stuff. But with almost each and every topic, only the woman should be looked down on and shamed. If the woman files for a divorce, she's selfish. But if the man does, and a lot of the times when a man does it, is because he cheated and now he's leaving the first wife for the new wife, especially a younger woman and everything like that. But yeah, they don't want to shame the man for that. But then a man will get upset if the judge rules for the mom to get the full custody, and they say that the judge is always so hard on the men when, yes, like I've read some studies last year. If I can find them, I'll post them in this episode. But if not, I'm going to talk about this again. So at some point, but it was just really interesting how when the judge talks to the fathers and when the fathers are on the stand, some of the things that they say, where the judges kind of think they're very narcissistic, they're very selfish. They only want the kids to hurt the woman, to hurt the mother. That's what some of the judges have, like they've said. A lot of the times, the fathers only want the kids to hurt the mother. And or they will try, like even though they wanted their wives to be stay-at-home moms, when it was time for the divorce, they wanted to make sure the woman left with nothing, even though if he cheated or whatever the reason is, he enjoyed her suffering. And to me, that's despicable, especially if you have children, or even if you don't. If you're the reason why she is at home throughout the entire marriage, cooking, cleaning, and taking care of the home, making sure that when you get home that you don't have to care for any of the stuff. You can just sit down and watch your TV and everything, or eat dinner and watch TV and stuff like that. Then that's not like, you're not a real man if you're going to have the. But anyways, yes, I read a study about that, and it was just really amazing with how selfish so many men are. And also, this is when it comes to Okay, just flat out, when it comes to marriage and dating, and some of many conservatives on top of the whole 14, they're saying if you're not married by college, to only go to college to get your MRS degree. Oh my gosh, I'm so thankful because yeah, there was one guy who said he was interested in me, and I'm like, thank God, no, God is good all the time. Yeah, anyway, but and it's I know some people are probably thinking that I will never get married because I'm never gonna get married, but it's more gonna I think it's more my choice this time. And because with Mr. No Heart, he wanted to be with me for the rest of his life without the marriage part. And so that was his choice, that was in his control. And the reason why I tolerated that was because my walking was getting worse, and at I felt like he was settling with me, but I was desperate for him because the first 60 to 90 days, I thought, wow, a sapiosexual, someone who understands me, and someone who I think we would be a good team and everything. And even though he's going through a divorce, I think he's learned different things that would help him. No, he only learned, I'm gonna use her. I'm gonna take advantage of her. And even when my mom died and I begged for him to go, I had to beg for this man to go to the funeral, and he still didn't go. I was crying, crying, begging him, telling him I needed him. He still didn't go. But these men wonder why they're single. And he blames me. Like he thinks it's my fault for the breakup. You don't go to my mom's funeral. You don't go to my surgery. When I wrote the first draft of my novel, you refused to read it and you said, I will only read you. Oh, even, okay, I'm emphasizing this in the way for a reason. I'll only read your book if you actually publish it. And even with my poetry, I gave him a sample, one that I got a small scholarship for back in college. And the next day is like I get to his house before he does, and I'm starting dinner, and I'm cooking in the kitchen. Next thing I know, what do I find in the garbage can? The poem. And I never mentioned it to him because it hurts so much. It hurts so badly. But I wanted to see if he even mentioned it. He never did. He doesn't know it's in my room right now. It's in a folder right now. It's crumpled up and everything, but it was on top of and it's funny, it was on top, so it was like I don't think hardly anything on it. So I'm not gonna say nothing's on it because probably something, but I worked hard on that poem and I got a lot of compliments for it. But it's really funny how with a lot of the projects that I've worked on, and I think this is with a lot of women, and this is why in my last episode I said it's like men will settle because they don't want to have to work hard. They don't want to have to like appease a woman, or they don't want to have to be kind of like the Mr. and Mrs. Obama, because that was my relationship goal. I want to be at the level of not, I know probably not ever marry a president or politician or whatever, but someone who I got his back and I'll encourage him and help him with what he's working on, and the same for me. But I just kept ending up with men who wanted to use me, use my money, use my car, use my body, just use me, whatever they could get out of me. And a lot of these men out here, that's all they're trying to do. But then they wonder why they're single, and they wonder why they say that they have to settle. It's like they have to settle because they're not ready for a real woman. They're not ready for a challenge. They're not ready to have a full conversation. Some of them some of them depend on their body or their inches or their height. When I say inches, you know what I'm talking about. But that's all they have. Nothing else. Nothing else. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.